Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing all pretty well. I see that some of you have already been entering this webinar. We'll give a few seconds for other people to start coming. So first of all, welcome to a new webinar or free training of how to create an event in 30 minutes. Thank you all for participating today. For those who are not able to come today, we'll still send you the recording of this webinar, which is also going to be posted on YouTube in case that you want to check it out again or that you want to see something else. So before starting, I just wanted to give you some quick advices. We have a Q&A session, which you can use in order to ask me any questions that you have. And we also have a group chat that I'm going to send you right away. So I'm just going to say hi. If you want to make questions through the chat, that's possible. There's no problem. Everybody will watch them. Otherwise, you can also make them through the Q&A, and that would be more private, and I will answer all of them during this webinar. So right before getting started, I want to introduce myself. If you don't know me, I am Santiago Castillo, and I am the Customer Success Manager of Eventtia. Some of you might know me, some of you might not, but if you are a client of Eventtia, and I hope that you all are or will be, you will have a good contact with me eventually. So, so that's me. My email is santiago@eventia.com, but you can also contact me through webinars@eventia.com in case you need anything or you have any suggestions, which I will also give you all of this information at the end. So right before starting, I would like to have some polls. We'll do some interaction here. So right away, I'm launching a poll. That is, how did you hear about the Eventtia webinars? Just to know where do you come from? Did you have it by email? Did a work colleague recommend it to you? Was it from the Eventtia team or was it with the Eventtia webpage? You can also have seen it on the social media. Thank you, everybody that voted. I will show you the results. So most of you came here, well, half of you came here by email, half of you by work colleagues, which is quite good because actually we like this work colleague part to increase, and I hope that if you like this, you will recommend it. Second of all, I would like to know which type of events do you make? Are they corporate events, networking, academic, commercial, or other type of events? This would be interesting because I am interested in knowing which type of events you make, so I can give you a hand at the end of the Q&A sessions with some more specialized information for you. All right, that's good. Thank you. You're pretty quick voting. I like that. So we have 50% corporate events, 25% networking, 25% academic. So today I'm going to show you an academic event, but basically it's the same use for all of the events, but this academic event is quite quick to understand. My other question is, have you used another event management software before, or EMS, how we call it? Thank you so much for answering. So 25% say yes, 75% say no, which is good to know because that way I will be able also to give you some insights about it. Okay, so I'm right now showing you the answers for this. For all those who are coming, I was just doing some polls about the profile of the people who are here. And I'll continue with some other polls later on. Okay, let's continue. So first of all, I'm going to already introduce myself and launch some polls, and I'm going to give you now the structure of the webinar. We're going to check all of this, and then in the end, we're going to have Q&A and conclusions. So right now, we're going to dive into why and how to configure multiple attendee types. And then we're going to dive into how to create an effective registration form and how to generate attendee badges. So let's get into the business. I'm going to show you, first of all, as I was telling you, the attendee type creation and registration forms and badges. and maybe some other stuff if we have some more time. We're going to try to make this in 30 minutes, meaning that we're going to create one event, one complete event in 30 minutes. So let's see if we're able to do it. I'm pretty sure we will. So it's in this moment we have 10:06 Central Time. So I hope that at 10:35 we'll be able to have our own event. So first of all, I can come here to the homepage of Eventtia, and on that homepage, it's not getting because of the clock. It's okay, thank you. Okay, this is the homepage. I'm just need to check this out so I have the same date. Let me check this. Okay, yep. All right, not an issue. So we can go to the home, and in the home we can click on login, and we will get here to the login. If you haven't signed up, you can sign up on the homepage of Eventtia, which is eventtia.com. If you had, you'll know what is the login. So we got here to the login, and we click on sign in after putting our credentials. And when we put sign in, we will be able to create a new event from scratch. So in this moment, the first thing you see when you sign in is you'll see different events that I have done before. And we'll start by scratch just to show you how does this work. But you can also clone them. So if the event is really similar to one to the other, or if you have similar configurations in your different events, you can just clone it, and that will make your life easier. But now we're gonna go from scratch. So I click here, and I can select the modules that I want to show. So in this moment, I'm not really interested in networking or exhibitors. I'll do that later. And on files also. So I'll just leave these three modules, and I will create my event. So I'm going to say this is the academic event. I'm going to leave this in English. So academic event, and this would be the academic event number. I'm just checking that. It's going to be academic event number 3. So I'm going to put 3 here. I am going to put a start date. Let's say that this starts next Monday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., as many events do. So I just quickly set this up. I can give a country. So let's say we're going to do it on the States, in New York, which is a place where lots of events are made. So let's get here to New York. We search for the N, New York. And then for the city, we search as well for New York. The N. It's here. Exactly. We can put an address. I want to make this on the Rockefeller Center. And we can also upload some other info. So we can upload a logo, which would be this one for us. And we can upload a banner, which will be this one. That's pretty quick. And here we can put academic event 3. Here we can put the location, so we can actually find it in maps. So Rockefeller Center in New York, it's here. We can put a description. So this is our academic event for universities. Nice. And we can put some keywords. So like this, like New York academic event, universities. These keywords will be used for the search engines, which are Google or Bing or whichever search engine you use normally. So once we save, we click on save. And once we save, we will have created a whole new event on Eventtia. And you will see this screen. If you come back here to the little pencil, you will be able to check on settings and put some other information that could be important for your event. So in this case, we're doing it in the States, so we'll use imperial system, 12 hours, and month, day, year. We're gonna use dollars, and I can also put some VAT, and I can also set up right away my different payment platforms. In Eventtia, we have Stripe, PayU, Cashflows, and PayPal. Probably most of you will use PayPal or Stripe, which are the most global ones. And then we have this dashboard in which you will be able to check which are the registered attendees, the ticket sales, your website visits, And you can also have kind of a little map here, which will show you also a timeline of the ticket sales, so you can check when did it move more or less. So, being that said, we can go right away into registration types and create our own registration types. So here we have one example, and we can copy those registration types in order to save some time for the others. So I'm gonna make this one for the undergraduate students, and then right after I finish setting that up, I will copy it and I will make it for the postgraduate students. So it's crystal clear. So here I'm just going to say undergraduate students. Perfect. I am going to give, for this one, I won't give a price, but I could put a price here in dollars. And I can put or in euros or pounds or whichever currency you use. And then I can put an attendee limit. Let's say I have an auditorium of 600 people. I have 400 undergrad students and 200 postgrad. And here I have some options which are only allow guest registration, which means that you will put some guest lists here, and only the people who are on those guest lists will be able to check in or to register to Eventtia. This one is quite useful for press or for sponsors or for VIPs. Allow public registration, which is the most normal one, so people can register to the website. Allow participants to edit their registration data, which is also quite useful, and require validation after registration, which means that I can accept or reject the people once they are registered. So it's kind of like a post filter after they're registered, which is also quite cool. And we have here also the blocking changes that can induce reimbursement in case that this is a paying event. So once I save, I will have some new tabs here. One of them is registration form, which is very, very important. So now we have created a registration type, and now we're getting into the registration form. So the registration form, it's quite simple to make it. You have here some by default spaces like first name, last name, email, company, telephone, etc., and you can hide them. So if I click here on edit telephone, I can say I don't want to display it, and I save it. It will still appear there, but it's going to be hidden from the actual final form. So I can do that for instance, invoicing information, given that this is a non-paying event, and also for company, because we're searching for universities. So let's just do this, and let's just take this off. I'm going to move them down. So basically here you just move up or down depending on where you want to show the space. And I can click on new and create new ones. So I can use text fields, text areas, drop-down lists, multiple selection images, plain text, date, time, cities, and files. So I can, for instance, put a drop-down list in order to know the university. And I can say, okay, people for this event are coming from some of these Ivy League universities. So let's say it's Harvard, Berkeley, Oxford, or well, that's not a Ivy League, but they are really well-known universities. Let's say Harvard, Berkeley, Oxford, and Cambridge. And I can require it when registering, which means that this is a mandatory question. If I don't fill that up, I won't be able to submit. And I can also display it or do not display it in case that only I want to do that from my own space, my own admin space, which means that if I am the attendee, I will not fill that information up, but you as administrator will fill it up after the person registers, which could be also useful for, let's say, room numbers or some information that you want to put in the profile of the person, but that the person doesn't necessarily know. So you click on save here, and you can move this up. So you can put it, let's say, after email and before city. So that's quite good. And then we can create just another new one in where we can say, let's say, undergraduate program. And this one, instead of putting a drop-down list, because I would have to put a lot of undergrad programs, I will just leave that text field so they will be able to fill that up. So I can say engineering or accountability or anything. And I can also determine if there's a maximum of characters, if I only allow numbers, letters, or telephone, and if this value can repeat or not. So in this case, I'll just leave it like that, and I will click on save. And now I have two different new spaces. All right, so if I click here, so that is for the registration form. If you have any questions, you can start placing them on the chat or on the Q&A space, and I will be able to answer them right away or in the end. And now we will come to the badge. So something that's really cool about the registration form that will be reflected not only on the badges but also on most of the messages are the tags. And tags are basically the information that the person put on the registration form, but the personalized one. So for instance, if I use this tag university, I'll get either Berkeley, Harvard, Oxford, or Cambridge, but I will get it depending on what I had put before. So I just can copy that and paste that, and I can put this bigger or smaller depending on how big I want it to be shown. And here in this case, I will have a badge with a full name, QR code, and university. I do want to tell you something about the types of badges. We have two types of badges. One is DeskJet and one is thermal. I'm going to show you first DeskJet and then thermal. So for DeskJet, you just imagine that you have like a normal sheet of paper, but divided into 4 spaces. And you can put different tags and different images because this is an HTML. And then you have a whole page that have different information, and you will be able to make it, for instance, to send it virtually and make your attendees print it or to print it by yourself. And basically they will be seen like this. I'm gonna get back to the presentation. So see, this is a page, a normal sheet of paper divided in 4. And here, for instance, they put the map, and here they put some more information, etc. But then on this one, on this first one, they have name, company, and QR code. And then what they did was, which is also quite useful, is just put in a batch holder, fold the paper in 4 and put it inside the batch holder with the QR code facing front. So you can actually use that for the checking out or for just having the main information on the front. Okay. And then the other one is, I'm going to stop sharing. The other one is stickers, which are, we use normally a printer called the Dymo, which is here. I'm going to show it to you. Sorry for this. So this is a printer that's a Dymo. See, it's very, very small. It fits on my hands. And basically here you put some stickers here, like of the printer paper. And this will print some stickers here, and you can take them off. Those stickers will be like this. So you'll have the sticker and you'll have this paper. So it just prints there and you can open it up. Okay, and here you can put all the information you want. And then once you're done with that, you can paste it on a batch, like already made batch. This is carton. So here you'll have some information of the batch, and here's some other. And what you just do is pasting, see this is a sticker, you just paste that sticker in the batch, and that's how it works, the thermal printer. So that is how you see it. And here how you set it up is you just click here on thermal and you can put the tags, and those tags will be reflected on the actual sticker. So for instance, here we have name, we have QR code, we have ID, and we have type of attendee. Okay. All right. So that's it for the badges. That's quite good. And I'll give you some extra stuff here. I'm gonna show you the messages. You have 2 different type of messages. Sometimes 3 if you put validation. Sometimes you have here the rejection email. So first of all, you have a success registration message, which is just a message that appears on the screen. I will show you how it works. And then you have the welcome email. I'm just going to put 2 different tags so you see the difference between a success registration message and the welcome email when we do the user experience. So here I'm just gonna put first name, so that's my name. And then on the welcome email, which is different because that's an email. The message is just something that appears on your screen, while the email is something that you get to your actual inbox. So I'm gonna copy this and paste this, and I'm gonna save this. So in the success registration message, we put the first name tag, and in the welcome email, we put university tag. The main difference is welcome email is an email and it has a QR code, whereas the registration message, the success registration message doesn't. Okay, so that's it for the types. If I come back here, I'll have here undergrad students, and I can click on copy, and confirm. I will be able to create now postgraduate students. So I'll just click here on say postgraduate students. I can put here a price, let's say $100. I can put here 200 people, and I will be able to save this. And once saved, I will be able to check the registration form. So actually I will have some different, I will have the same information from the registration form of the other event, but I can change this. So for instance, instead now of asking what is the undergraduate program, I'm going to ask what is the postgraduate program. And that's it. I can just change the little save, and I'll have some time saved. So if I come back here to types, I'll have undergraduate students and postgraduate students. Okay, so that's it for the first little part of this webinar. And now we'll dive into the second. We have some 15 minutes to do the second part, which is also quite interesting because once we have set everything up, you'll see how interesting it is to create the website right away. So we can say here how to set up an event schedule with speakers, activities, and points of interest. Then how to design an attractive event website and how the online registration works. So basically, we're going to end up setting everything up. Then we'll design the website, and then we'll see how the online registration works from the user's experience. So what your attendees will see. So let's get into that. So when I click here on program speakers, I will be able to upload some speakers. I can click here on create new speaker, and I will be able to create it. So I'm going to say that one of my speakers is Mauricio Palacio, which is our CEO from Eventtia. So I'm just filling this up quite quick. I can upload a picture of himself, and I can put even his email, I can put his Twitter, his LinkedIn, and I can say a biography. I'm just going to say that Mauricio is the CEO of Eventtia. So you can check where the biography will appear in the website. Nice. So I click here and save. And now I have a speaker. That's quite quick. I can create another one real quick. So I can say now somebody else is speaking, which is Esteban Ochoa. He's our CTO. I can upload his picture. I can put an email. I can put also some information. Esteban is the CTO of Eventtia. And if I want to add his Twitter and LinkedIn, I will be able to do it. And I can click on save, and I'll have now two different speakers. So that's it for the speakers. Then we can come here to activities and create new activities. So I just click here and create new activity, and I'll be able to create it right away. So let's say that Mauricio is going to give an activity from 10 a.m. to 11. So he's the opening speech, which is a conference on Eventtia. I'm going to click his profile. So this is assigned to the speaker that I created before. I'm going to say that this is 600 speakers. I'm going to say that this is on conference room 1. I can allow registration for this workshop, which is a specific registration. So let's say I only want undergraduate students to come, so I just allow them. Or I can say also I only want undergraduate and postgraduate, but postgraduate will have to pay $20 plus plus the price they already have for registration, but undergraduates have to pay $0, so that's good. Okay. And I can put a description here, so I can say Mauricio is going to speak about his experience in Eventtia. That's it. I can click on save. Nice. I have now a new activity, which I can also put some categories. And if I click here, I will be able to see all the participants that are registered to that specific activity, which could register on their registration form, which you will see later. I can also copy these activities. So now instead of conference of Eventtia, I'm going to say conference on software, because now this one is going to be given by Esteban. But this one is going to be the closing one. So this will be from 4 to 5 p.m. Nice. And we can put here Esteban. We can say instead of 600, this is 300. And we can say that they can also apply, but for this one, we'll have $50 for the postgraduate students. And they can also check this out and say Esteban is going to speak about his experience in software. Okay, I click here save. And again, I can see the categories and participants. I can set that up, and now I'll have two activities. So now we have two speakers with two different activities in which each speaker will give his own speech. So that's it for the program. You can put some financials, which is quite simple, but I'm not going to do that right away. If you want to ask me about it, I can do that later. And now we can put some points of interest. So we know that this is on the Rockefeller Center in New York. So let me check it. Now we can put some new different interest points close to the Rockefeller Center. So see, here's the Rockefeller Center, and I can click on new and I can put some different stuff. So let's say I want to say where's the closest metro station, which is this one, Rockefeller Center Station. So I'm gonna say this is the metro station, and I'm going to put in description the name. So 4750 Rockefeller Center Station. And I will say that this is transportation, and I click on save, and I will have a new point of interest here. Okay, so I click on save, and I'll have it there. And if I come back here, I'll see that I have now a new one here. I can put another one real quick. The other one I want to put is, let's say people want to see where's St. Patrick's Cathedral. So I can say this is St. Patrick's Cathedral. Cool. And I can say this is the biggest Catholic church in the US. I'm not really sure about this fact, but I'm pretty close to it. I think it is. And I can say this is tourism. So I can click here on save. And now I'll have another one. So now if I come back to points of interest, I have my main event and 2 points of interest. One is that is touristic, and one that is transportation. Okay. I have a question here that I want to do it at the end. Thank you, Ben. You might have seen it on the chat. It's about categories, but I'm going to show you that on the end, quite on the end. So that's it for the points of interest. So as I was showing you, now we have set up an event schedule with speakers, activities, and points of interest. And now we're going to design an attractive event website. Okay, so I'm just going to put some logic order in order for you to see which is a logic order for one event. And making this website is quite interesting, and also I find it quite fantastic because you will be able to do it in very few seconds. You just drag and drop all the modules that you want. You just take them here from the left and leave them here on the right, and that will drop them there. So I'm just dragging and dropping the speakers, the program, register, location, contact, which are all modules that I am interested in showing. Sometimes you have to drop it here just on the top. See, I'm also going to drop a free module. You're going to see why. I'm also going to drop a countdown. So here I just dropped 8 or 9 modules, and I am going to put them in some logical order. So I think contact is always the last thing. Register should be the one before the last. The free one will go for the banner, so it's going to be the first. So here I have free home, I have speakers program, location, countdown, contact, and register. No, contact is the last one. Countdown, register, and contact. So now I have this kind of logical organization. I can also select a color palette that I prefer. In this case, I would like to use this prune one. So I can go on and click on save, and I'll see here the main color, navbar text color, navbar select text color, or text color. And I will be able to, or either preview it, which you just click here on preview and you'll check it out. But then when you're done and when you want to make some tests on the registration one, I just publish. And I encourage you to do it, because what you can do is you can publish and just disallow search engine indexing, which means that if I search by Google or Bing, I won't be able to see it. So basically it's going to be published but hidden. And here I'll have now my URL that I created on the start. Now I want to put a banner, so this is more visually appealing. So I'm just going to take this off and I'm going to put a content here. Some people like to put a background image, but sometimes it doesn't show the whole image. So I'm gonna show you like a little life hack in order to make it easier. So what you can do is you can click here on image and click on upload and select a banner. So I have it here right away and I can click and send it to the server. I can change the width and height. So I'm going to say that this is 1920, which is the best width for strings, and the height will automatically be set up, and I can click on save. Okay. So if I go back to website, now you will see magic. You can click here on the publish on the okay, let me check why this isn't appearing yet. Okay, yeah, I save this. I come back here on website. So I was telling you, you will see magic. So you just click to publish the website, and you can click on this link or on this little world, and you will be able to see the your new website where you can see all of the modules. Oh, see here, this free one. I just want to take this off because I don't see a use of that. So I'm gonna click on edit, and I'm just gonna say no. I don't want to show it on the navigation block bar. I can go back to website. I'll click on publish. You can also do that for all the other modules where you can just click here and edit and check the options for editing, which could be quite useful. So now we have a home, speakers, program, location, countdown, register, and contact. And we have this register more appealing button, which you can also take off if you click on edit that register. And we'll see how here we have the academic event. We have the title of the event. We have the description of the event. We have our logo. We have our dates and the place and the contact form. Next song, we have the speakers. So we have Mauricio here with the description of his work. And we also have here this icon to send him an email, for instance. And if you have LinkedIn or Twitter, you'll have also those icons activated. And we have as well as Seban, which are the main managers of Eventtia. Then we have a program in which we can see the date and we can see the conferences. So we have here the conference of Eventtia, which is from 10 to 11, and we can see the description, as well as the conference on software, where we can see the description. So that's it for the program. We can also check the map and see our location and our points of interest. So as you can see here, we have our Rockefeller Center, we have our St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we have our metro station. So especially if I come from someplace abroad, or if that is not my home city, that would be quite useful. We can see the countdown. So we have 4 days, 22 hours for the event. We can see the register form and we can see the contact form. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to see the experience of the attendee to register. So let's say I'm an undergraduate student. I can click here to register as an undergrad student. So I can fill up all my information. So my name is Santiago, last name is Castillo, and my email is santiago@eventtia.com. I'm going to say that I come from Harvard and my program is international business. And I'm going to say that I'm coming from New York as well. So I can select again, United States. I can select again the state of New York. So the Empire State. Let me search for that. Yeah. And I'm going to say that I live in New York. I used to live in Queens. So here, New York. Okay, New York. I can also register myself for the conference in Eventtia, not for the conference of software, let's say, and I can click on next. And here, again, magic appears. This will be my successful registration message. Remember, we put the first name tag. Here is my first name, Santiago, right away. And now I have my successful registration message. And if I come to my Gmail account, I'll probably get my welcome email real soon. See, here it is, Webinars Eventtia. Hello, Santiago. Your participation has been confirmed. And remember on this one, we did put the university tag. So now it has university tag. So see the difference. This one has first name tag. This one has university tag. This is the logo of my event. I have been confirmed. I will see my details, when, where, and what's my contact, my map, and my QR code that will identify me on the event. I was telling you that at 10:36 on the central time, we'll finish how to create an event in 30 minutes. And right now is 10:36. So we actually took exactly 30 minutes in order to create a new event in Eventtia with speakers, point of interest, attendee types, badges, website, and success and welcome registration emails. So that is quite quick. And as you can see, if you do it quickly, it's just 30 minutes. Of course, if you want to do more stuff, that will take a bit more, but the basics can be done in 30 minutes really easily. So I just wanted to show you that it was the truth what I told you in the email. This is a webinar in which you can actually see how to create an event in 30 minutes with Eventtia, and that is quite one of our big advantages that we have in terms of how intuitive and how effective is our platform. So being that, I'm going to go ahead and check on the Q&A session. We have some minutes for that, so that's the idea. So I'm going to first answer Ben's question, and I'm going to check if you have some more questions on the chat or if you have some more questions on the Q&A. Okay, you can be free now. This is the time for you to ask any question that you want, and I will do my best to answer them. So first of all, Ben said, what does the categories function do with the program? Okay, thank you, Ben, for that question. Ben is our friend from the UK. So Ben, if you come here to program and categories, you will be able to determine some categories of the different activities. So here you have program, and if you click on categories, you can click on a new category, and that category will give you can put a name for that. So let's say that we have some conferences on entrepreneurship. That's one of my categories. And we have some other ones that are more like technical conferences, like the one in software. The idea in this moment for me is to put Mauricio's conference on Eventtia in entrepreneurship, and then the technical conference, the one of Esteban. So I can click on save. I just created 2 new categories. And if I come here to activities and I click here on edit, I will be able to check on one of those categories. So I'm going to say that this category, this one is conference of Eventtia from Mauricio. So this one's going to be part of entrepreneurship. I can click here and save, and I have that. And if I come back again to activities and come to the conference and software, I can click on categories. This one is Esteban ones, which is technical conferences, and I can click on save. So what this will do is this will make me know which are the categories of the event, where I can see how many workshops are on each one of the categories, because in many events, the workshops might have some subcategories that could be useful. And then on the website, what you will be able to see is if you come back here to the homepage and you go to the program, you will be able to select here by categories. See that I didn't even publish, and it was immediately updated. So if I click here on entrepreneurship, I will get only the ones of entrepreneurship, in this case, the conference and Eventtia. And if I go back here and I click on technical conferences, I will see all the technical conferences. So this will be very useful. In this moment, we only have 2 categories, but if your event has 20 or 30 different activities, this will be very useful in order to have a filter of which type of conferences you have, depending on the activities that people want to do that. Ben asks, does that show on the booking form? Well, actually, on the booking form, not, but yes, on the program. Because if you come here back again and you click here on a booking form, you won't see here the category, but it will be quite clear on the program. So if I come here to the program, I will be able to check and filter that by categories, which will, of course, appear here. Okay, that's a good question, Ben. And let me check for something else. How can we settle matchmakings for an event, networking event, for instance? So this is a question from from Theo, who's from France. Thank you, Theo. Something before that, Ben. So I just answer you the part of the booking form. If that's clear, you can check that. If not, you can ask more questions. So for Theo, how can we settle the matchmakings for a networking event? So this is something different, and I'm going to show you how because we do have the time. So if you click here on Edit and you click on Networking, you can activate that networking. This is an additional module in Eventtia which has a cost. And if you want to check on that cost, once you're a client, I will be able to give you the proposal and make all what is needed to get the B2B platform. So what you can do is you click here on networking, which is now the new module, and I can click on create a networking. That networking, let's say I want to do some networking between undergraduate and postgraduate students. So I'm going to say this is our university networking. First of all, I just set up the general networking. Let's say this is on the ballroom. I'll use the same center name and account. And let's say that this networking is only for 2 hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So now I selected here 11 a.m. and here I'm going to say 1 p.m. I can say when does the scheduling stop on. So I'm going to say it's going to be on Saturday. So 2 days before that. And I can select a meeting duration. So if I want 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 minutes, I do recommend you to, if you're not really sure, just take the higher part so you can have some minutes in order for the people to change of the place. So I'm going to say 20 minutes and I'm going to click on save. So now I just created a networking space. And what I can do is I can put some networking profiles. So I will have normally 2 networking profiles, which is I'm offering and I'm looking for, let's say that undergraduate students are looking for postgraduate students that will give them career advices. So this would be undergrad. You can put the same name or you can put different names. I just put here undergraduate so to show you that this is a different name. You can put additional prices for the networking. The agenda start and end date will normally be the same as the general networking dates, but this could get a bit more complex if you have some people, let's say that you have also teachers that will only be able to meet the last hour, so you can put only teachers during the last hour and that's it. Okay. I can say if it needs allocation, if the people can block time slots, and I'll just click here in undergraduate students in order to make this for undergrad. And when I click save, I can come back and check that undergraduate students is here. So it is, and I can leave it as an optional or not optional registration. So in this moment, that's mandatory. So all undergraduate students will have to register to networking. And if I leave it as optional, then it's optional, of course. And what I can do here is I can put some new information for the networking form. So this is especially useful when I have companies, because normally the normal attendee type form that I created, that would be for the person, let's say for Santiago. And then this networking form will be for the company, so for Eventtia. So instead of asking Santiago, what is your position and how many employees do you have on the attendee form, I can ask it here. And actually this could be public when the companies are watching for each other, for the other companies. Let's say in this context we have universities. So in this one, instead of speaking about Santiago, it would be of speaking about Harvard. So I can put the Harvard logo and I can put the Harvard information and how many students do I have, etc. So the other networkers will be able to check that out. And I can also put time restrictions, which, for instance, is pretty useful here. If you have 2 days, normally there's a time restriction for lunch, or there's a time restriction between the end of one day and the start of the other. So you can put all of these time restrictions here. And really, really important, you have to do it on both of the networking profiles. So in this moment, I only have this one, but I need to create another one. So here I can create postgraduate. In order to have our postgraduate students, I can say the same date. So I'm going to say that it's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yeah, and I can say that Postgraduate can make meetings with undergraduate. I have to check this out on undergraduate as well. I can say it can block time slots, and these people are offering. So if I save it, I will take a look at this. Yeah, they're offering. They are postgraduate students. Oh, here I have to change this. So instead of under and post, I only want undergraduate. And I can come back also to undergraduate. No, this was created here, so I can come back to undergraduate to only select them to be able to make meetings with postgraduates. So I can click here and save. And now I will have my two networking profiles, which are quite good. And then I can also put some categories in order, it's just the same as in activities, in order to divide them, let's say American universities and British universities. And here I will be able to see participants, book meetings, free slots, and meeting surveys. And then when I go to website, I can move this login module, which is the module where they can log into their personal space of the networking. So I can move this in and put it here and put it, let's say here below register. I can publish this because I think it's okay to publish it right away. If not, I can preview it and check it out. So now you can see that login here down. Okay. So basically, when I register, I click on undergraduate students, for instance, and I will be able to do all of this part, and then I will be able to check on the name of my company, the logo of my company, and a username and password, which I can invent. So I can say the username is Eventtia here, and I can say that the password is Eventtia 123. And when I save this, once I have my profile, I will be able to go in the login. So I will be able to get here to home and get here to the login. And here in the login, I'll put those credentials. So Eventtia 123 and or 12 and then the password. Okay. And then when I log in, I will be able to check the time frames of the other people and check how they're doing and so on. I would like to know if there are more questions. If you want me to show you that actual part, I will be able to do it. But if there are more questions, I will be happy to answer some other questions because this is too specific. But if not, I can go ahead and show it. Okay, let me check. Oh, you're welcome, Theo. I'm going to show it right away because I see no more questions for the moment. So yeah, Ben, I'm going to show this right away, and then I'm going to get back right really quick to you. So for instance, I have this networking event and I can click here and I can check who's on that networking and check the attendees. So let me check because I'm not really sure if this one has already finished so I can log in. Let me check for that. Because I have this new website. So let's go here to website. Let's see if I have the login here. No, I don't have it. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to publish that. And I'm going to go to registration attendees to check for any one of these. So I'm just going to take this one and I can see the account and the password. So if I click here on buyer, I am going to try to log in. So I'm going to paste this and my password is just buyer1. So I'm going to put that password. Buyer1. Let me check. Now it's with this one, and then my password is this one. Let me check if it's working right now so I can show you this. Okay, see. So in the end, when the different attendees create their networking, they will be able to check their profile and they will be able to change whatever is on the networking form. So I can say I'm searching or I'm searching as buyer. I can change my logo and I can change my company. And if there was more information requested, I can change that as well. I can check my agenda in order to see which are the meetings that I have, which are the slot times that I am available or not. I can, in these ones, I just said that I was not available. On these others, I'm available. So people will be able only to make meetings with me on the blue slots. I can also print my agenda, which I just click on print, and I will be able to open up a PDF document that's going to show my agenda, as you can see here, with the logo and with my name and my email, and it will show me my agenda. In this moment, I only have one meeting, but it's quite interesting how you can do that. And then I can come back here to my networking, and I can click on participants, and I will be able to check the other participants. So let's say I want to make a meeting with the company number 2. I can say request meeting, and I can click here and request meeting, and I can say, hi, I I would like to have I would like to have a meeting with you, and just best. And I can click on request, and I would have requested here. The deadline is already over, but if it was activated, that would request it, and that would block both my time and the time of that person until the person accepts or rejects my meeting. So yeah, as I was showing you, you just click on request meeting and you search for whichever time that you're available and they are available. And that's it. See here, I blocked them, so it just says you're not available. And here I have some meetings, so it just says I cannot do it on this time slot, but I can see the time slots where that person can make it, which is quite good. So that's it for the networking form. I think that was quite clear. So that's good for Theo. I hope that I had answered your question quite well. And then Ben makes another question, which is, could you give an idea on how best to register people on the day? So you mean, Ben, by that registering people, like, let's say that I hadn't registered before and I came there and I need you to make a quick registration. That's it, right? I'm going to go back here to webinars. Yep. So yeah, Ben, what you want to do it is like checking in on the day, meaning like my event is on Monday and how will I do it on Monday? That's it. How will I check the people on Monday? Or you mean the registered people? You mean people who haven't registered yet and came there, or people who already registered? You can say registered if that's what you mean, just so I know the. Oh, registered people. Okay. So what we have in Eventtia is, I need to say this is an additional module. Then if you're interested in acquiring it, you can write to santiago@eventia.com and I will give you all the prices and I will give you all the info. But I'm going to show it right away to you so you can take a look at that. We have this module that's called the check-in module. And that module basically is a check-in app. That check-in app is an app that you can download to your cell phone. I'm going to show it to you here from my cell phone. So here I have this app that's called Check-in. See, it says Check-in. So it's this app. And here it asks me for my the same username and the same password from my Eventtia credentials. So what I do here is I come here to check-in. Oops. And I can click on manage the check-in status of your attendees, which will open me this on my event. I can log into that. See, I have it on my cell phone, but I also have it here on my computer. So this is a progressive app which can be used both on cell phone and on computer, and that's quite useful because you can do this on cell phone or you can also have a computer there and use it. So now we have different attendee types. And different attendees. So here I have all the events that I have. So let's say it's going to be on Monday, my check-in. So I'm going to click on this event that we just created, which is the academic event number 3. And I click here and I will see my attendees. I will see the check-in status, who has the check-in and who hasn't, and the percentage. I can see the checkpoints. Checkpoints are basically, let's say I want to know who has passed by this coffee or who has gone to this VIP room or whatever, which are special places that are not conference rooms or something like that. So coffees or, yeah, cafes, let's say bathroom, whatever you want to do, that's not part of the activities. But then you also have activities where you can actually check people on a specific conference. So let's say these both activities are on conference room 1. So what I can do is I can have a general check-in. So on the main entrance, I have people checking in. with their cell phone the other people through the badges or through the email and the QR code. You just need to read that QR code. So I can check them in that way. Um, on the main entrance for the general check-in, and then on each one of the rooms I can check them in for each one of the activities. Actually, for instance, we have an event which is quite a lot out of the rooms, so they have some parts that are on the actual rooms, and we also have some other parts that are outside. And some of our users, what they're doing is that they're having their cell phones on the buses, and if people are coming, they just register them on the buses and they go up on the buses. So they have, with our check-in information, they know who went to the bus or who didn't, which is quite useful. As I was showing you, this is quite easy. You can either do it by clicking here on the camera and just reading that QR code, or you can just click it here. You can just search for the name. So let's say Santiago, and you can click here on search, and then you will be able to just click here on this check and check him in, or click on the minus and check him out. So if I check him in, I click here check, and I go to the checking status, and I can see that there's only one person on the event, and that's 100% who has checked in, and 0% hasn't checked in because the only person has been already checked in. But I can also come here to activities. Remember that I checked in for the conference on Eventtia, but not the conference on software. So if I click here, I see no attendees. But if I click here, I will see Santiago. But Santiago is checked in the general check-in status here, but she's not checked in on this activity yet. So let's say that 10 minutes later, he actually entered the room. I can check him in also here on the activity. So this has a connection both to the general attendees module and to the activities module. And then I can come back to my events and do that check-in on the other events. So Ben asks, so how do we monitor who turns up on the day? Do we need the extra app for this? Yeah, actually, yeah. Something else you can do is you can come here on the system and check the people in, and you can see also their info. But actually, the best way is to use the app, because on the app you can do it either on the computer, so you can have somebody on the entrance and tell him, okay, what's your name? Ben, so I can search here for Ben, and I can just click the check and check him in on a computer, or I can just be with a cell phone and read the QR code, and that will just check them in. So if you want some more info about it, you can write to me at santiago@eventtia.com. I'll give you the price, and we can surely have a good deal with that. That's a very useful app, and it's quite easy to use. As you can see, it's quite intuitive. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just launch some final polls, seeing no more questions left. So one of them is just for curiosity. I just want to know, in your opinion, what is the percentage of time that an EMS can save you? And I will answer this question. Do you think it's 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50% of time that you can actually save by using an event management software? This is not a quiz. This is just a guess or an educated guess. You can check that out. Okay, thank you all of you for voting, and I'm gonna share that result. So 80% of you say it's 30% of time that you can save, 50%, 20% say it's the 50% of time, and actually it is 40 to 50% of time. So congrats for whoever chose 50%. Actually, yeah, normally it's 40 to 50% because you can do a very good and quick check of each one of the different modules that you have on an event. And just before getting to the last polls, I want to show you that if you come here to registration attendees, you'll see the profile of each person. You can export to Excel those attendees, which is quite useful. So you have something like some in your computer, your own files with all the information. And here you will also have some options to see the summary link, to send them the welcome email, to see a profile, to print a badge, or to delete the attendee. So this is quite useful. And another very useful module is communications. I'll do the last two polls and we can finish this up. These polls, I'm not going to share them because these are obviously anonymous. I just want to have a satisfaction rate. How would you rate this webinar? Would you say it's awesome, great, okay, not good, or awful? And if you have some specific feedback, you can also send me an email to webinars@eventtia.com or santiago@eventtia.com, and I will surely check that out and make it better. We're always thinking on being better with this. And the last poll is, would you recommend this webinar to a colleague? Yes, maybe, or no. And please, if you did like it and you think that it is useful, you can recommend it to a colleague. Many people have assistants or interns or people that do use Eventtia in some part of their work. So these webinars are quite useful for them. So I invite you to do so. I just have some people who haven't voted. Maybe you can give it a quick vote. This is an important information for us in order to know what we can do better. Thank you very much. I'm going to end that poll as well. And to give you my final remarks, we also have a help desk where you can find a lot of information. Here we have a welcome kit, which will be quite useful for Ben and Theo, who asked me about networking events and whoever wants to know about it. Here we have a quick guide to plan your first B2B event, which is quite useful for B2B. We have a welcome kit, the knowledge base, and some privacy and terms of service. And on the knowledge base, you can see lots of articles that could be very useful. And here you can see also tutorials and videos that will help you out. We also have this video of how to create an event in 30 minutes, which is not the webinar, but just a 30-minute video where you can get this info right away. And we post all of these webinars on these webinars categories. So I'm going to be posting this in the next few hours, and I'll post it as July 18th webinar, how to create an event in 30 minutes. So if you want to check something that I said, or if you want to check some answer that I answered, you can check it here on webinars, and that's going to be quite useful. So you can take a look at that. We can also give you some help at help@eventtia.com. And if you want additional services or any commercial services, you can also contact me at santiago@eventtia.com. You're going to receive tomorrow an email that has the links for that knowledge base and for the video for these webinars, a direct link for this webinars place. So you can just select the date of the webinar and you can also take a look at that. And all of that is part of this service of giving you some free training and some webinars. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to say thank you very much for coming. It was quite a pleasure to have you here today. And I hope that you can come back to these webinars, that you invite more people, and that you are updated on which new webinars we are going to launch. In some months, we're going to launch some networking webinars. So that's going to be quite useful if you want to attend to those, or if you want to come back to these webinars, you're always very welcome. I think that this is a very useful part for our clients, and of course, we're here for that. So thanks a lot. Have a nice day, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.